You already know the feeling. You walk into a room and within 30 seconds, one person makes you feel more awake, and another makes you feel like you need a nap. You've probably chalked it up to vibes or personality. It isn't. There's an ancient framework that identified a single force behind focus, willpower, charisma, even physical health, and claimed that almost everyone on Earth is leaking it without knowing. Master it and people describe you as magnetic. Waste it and you become the person who exhausts a room just by entering it. Here's what that force actually is and why almost nobody is ever taught to control it. Search, "Why can't I focus?" or "How to stop racing thoughts," and you'll get the same recycled advice everywhere. Breathe deeply, acknowledge your thoughts, limit your options, practice mindfulness. All reasonable. None of it explains why focus is so hard to hold on to in the first place, or why some people seem to have an almost unfair surplus of it. The classical answer to this, from a 19th century framework that mapped the mechanics of the mind with startling precision, is that focus, willpower, and even the energy you feel from another person are not separate things. They're all the same underlying force, just showing up in different forms. That force was called Prana, and it explains something your favorite productivity video never will. Most people who've heard the word assume prana just means breath. It doesn't. Breath is only the most obvious physical symptom of prana, the easiest entry point to something much bigger. Prana is described as the sum total of every force in the universe, physical and mental, resolved back to a single origin. Gravity, motion, nerve impulses, thought itself, all described as different expressions of one underlying force. Your thoughts aren't a separate category from your physical energy. They're the same energy, just operating at its finest, subtlest level. This reframes something you've probably felt but never had language for. Why mental exhaustion feels physically real. Why a stressful thought can genuinely tire your body. Why intense focus can feel like real measurable effort. It's not a metaphor. Under this framework, it's literally the same force being spent. Here's where it gets specific. The classical explanation holds that this force isn't sealed inside you, it's contagious. If you're near someone whose prana is in a state of high, calm intensity, your own system tends to shift toward that same state, whether you consciously notice it or not. It described this almost exactly like contagion. A strong, vital person tends to make people near them feel a little stronger. A depleted, scattered person tends to leave people near them feeling a little more depleted too, even without either person saying a word. Think about the people in your life this actually describes. The friend who seems to fill a room with calm just by sitting in it. The coworker whose anxiety seems to spread to everyone at the table before a meeting even starts. Neither of them is doing anything mystical. They're both radiating a state, and everyone nearby is a receiver whether they intend to be or not. This is also, according to the framework, the real mechanism behind charisma. Not charm, not confidence as a personality trait, but a nervous system that's holding a high, stable state of this force and pulling everyone nearby into rhythm with it. Great speakers, great leaders, the people who can hold a room without raising their voice. The actual claim is that they've simply learned, deliberately or by accident, to bring their own prana to a higher, steadier state of vibration than the people around them. If this force is finite and contagious, the obvious next question is, where does yours actually go? The framework's answer is blunt. Most people's prana runs in a completely uncontrolled, automatic state. The same way your lungs breathe without you deciding to. Every scattered thought, every reactive emotional spike, every moment of unfocused mental noise is this same energy leaking out in an unmanaged direction. You're not out of energy because you did too much. You're out of energy because almost none of it was ever aimed anywhere on purpose. This is also the explanation given for illness itself. not as a replacement for medicine, but as an added layer. An imbalance of this force pooling too much in one area of the body or draining too far from another, showing up as physical disturbance. Whether or not you take that claim literally, the underlying idea holds up on its own. An unmanaged force, running with no direction, doesn't just fail to help you, yes, it actively costs you. Here's the part of this philosophy that's genuinely startling even now. The argument is that ordinary human development, the years it takes to build real focus, real self-mastery, real depth of character, is only slow because most people's prana is scattered across 1,000 directions at once, making almost no forward progress in any of them. But someone who learns to gather and aim that same force with real intensity doesn't just get a little better, a little faster. They compress what would normally take a lifetime, or by the text's own dramatic framing, many lifetimes, into a fraction of the time. Not because they work harder in the conventional sense, because almost none of their energy is being wasted on unmanaged noise in the first place. It's the difference between a hose spraying water in every direction and the same hose aimed as a single focused jet. Same total water, completely different result. You don't need years of retreat-style training to start working with this. 3 entry points, all grounded in the same source material. 1. Treat your breath as the handle, not the goal. The text is explicit that breathing exercises aren't the point of this practice. They're the most physical, most controllable access point to a force that's mostly invisible. A few minutes of slow, deliberate breath isn't calming down. It's the one lever you have direct physical access to for a force that governs everything else. 2. Notice who you leave a room like. For one full day, pay attention to how people seem to feel after being near you. Not what you said, but the state they seem to carry afterward. This isn't about guilt, it's data. If this force really is contagious, that's the most honest test of what state you're actually radiating. 3. Give your attention one target at a time on purpose. Every time you catch your focus splitting, thinking about 3 things while doing a 4th, that's the leak, happening in real time. You don't need to fight it, just notice it, and physically redirect toward one single point. That redirection, repeated enough times, is the entire practice. You were never actually short on energy. You were leaking a force you didn't know you had, in directions you never chose. The people who seem to have an unfair surplus of focus, calm, or charisma aren't built differently. They've simply stopped scattering the same force everyone else is scattering and aimed it somewhere on purpose. That's the actual secret behind the person who energizes a room instead of draining it. It was never about personality. It was always about direction. If this changed how you think about your own focus, subscribe. Synced Mind is about finding the real mechanism behind the things we've only ever been given vague advice about.